we get on. We'll be done shortly or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Don't forget to take it off.
Hi, this is State Senator John Molinar. I'd like to welcome you today to our Teletown Hall meeting. It's taking place throughout the 36th District, and I'd like to take the opportunity to talk with you about what we are doing here in Michigan for our seniors. We've made some great progress, and I'd like to give you an update. And today I'm joined by Carrie Cederberg, who's our special guest. And Carrie is the Director of the Office of Services to the Aging in Michigan, and she too will update you on the news affecting our seniors and to share some exciting progress that we've made. If you would like to ask me a question or make a comment at any time, please press the 0 key on your phone pad. Carrie, I want to welcome you to the Teletown Hall, and it's great to have you with us.
Great. Well, thank you, Senator Molinar. I appreciate the time and also really appreciate your support of Aging Services, particularly as the chair of our Senate Appropriations Committee. So thank you. There are a lot of really exciting things that are happening in the world of aging. One in particular, in this past June, Governor Snyder came out with a special message on aging. And the message itself is very broad, and it really speaks to all individuals, whether you need some sort of support or in-home assistance, all the way to individuals that are starting businesses, becoming entrepreneurs, volunteering their time, things like that. The message, as I said, is very broad, so I won't get into a whole lot of detail, but there are a number of different topic areas that the governor and the legislature, as you know, are focused on. One being health, wellness, and prevention, to really look at activities that we can do collectively as a state to promote healthy lifestyles and healthy behaviors. Another is really focusing on quality services and supports that help foster independence and choice for older adults, so that people, if they do need some assistance, that they're getting quality, well-trained assistance and have that choice to live at home and to stay at home if that's what they so choose. Another big area is really looking at some systems change work, particularly within state government, to make sure that programs are streamlined, it's easier to access things, and really it's focused on individuals and how you get connected to what you may need. Another critically important area, and one I'll touch on here again in a moment, is really focused on safety and security. Elder abuse prevention and awareness are really things that we as a state have done a lot and can do more in. Talent, as I mentioned, there are a number of older adults that are starting businesses, that are continuing to work, and actually the 50 to 60-year-old age range are the fastest growing number of entrepreneurs in the state. So we're looking at a number of different ways to support entrepreneurship regardless of your age. And then finally, looking at financial planning and kind of reinventing retirement, looking at financial security, and how do we prepare at any age for retirement? What are the things that we need to consider? And in fact, there's going to be an event on October 20th in Alpena at the Alpena County Library. There'll be CPAs and financial planners available to help people think through, what is retirement going to look like? Or I'm already retired, and how can I look at other ways to enhance my retirement? So that's kind of a lot of information, but there are a number of different work groups that are dedicated to each of these areas. They include various state departments, other community partners. Will be reaching out to individuals to help us shape the direction of these different areas, but it's really all focused on how do we live well and age well here in Michigan specifically. In addition, Governor Snyder and the legislature, and thank you again, Senator Molinar, for your support, there were a dozen of critically important elder abuse prevention bills that were passed over the past couple of years, and these bills really work to increase the penalties for those that are convicted of elder abuse or fraud, makes it easier for residents to report abuse, and increase coordination between different agencies like Adult Protective Services and state police, and also created a public notification system for missing older adults similar to the Amber Alert for children, so that police can be notified and send out alerts immediately when someone is missing. So there's a lot that's been done. There's a lot more that we can do, and we continue to work together, and we'll be working with the legislature to make sure that we make Michigan the safest place that we can for all of our residents, including older adults.
Carrie, I wanted to just, you mentioned the safety for our seniors, and
Yeah.
one of the other areas I know that the governor talked about in the State of the State address, and then in the legislature we worked on and budgeted $5 million additional for Meals on Wheels and serving our seniors. Can you comment on that as well?
Absolutely. So the fiscal year 15 budget that was just recently finalized and starts tomorrow does include more than $20 million of increases for aging-related programs and services. This is, I was just at a national conference and was speaking about this, and this is really profound. In the country, around the country, people were saying, "Oh my gosh, how did you get the support and have such a supportive governor and legislature to do this?" And it boils down to, again, that focusing on the independence and choice for individuals. So you're right, as you mentioned, there was going to be a $5 million increase for in-home services like Meals on Wheels. There's about $15 million dedicated to programs for individuals that are that meet nursing home level of need, but can be that can still live at home and receive services at home. So that's critically important. There was also money included for some elder abuse prevention initiatives to support some work that's happening on the local level there, as well as some other important programs like assisting people with Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. So it's really a true testament to the partnership between the governor's office and the legislature, and really all of the community organizations that are serving individuals. It's just fantastic.
That's great. Well, I know my father's a volunteer for Meals on Wheels, and that's something in our area of the state that's very important for our seniors. And one of the other things I just wanted to once again mention to any of our listeners, if you have a question or any comment you'd like to make, please press the 0 key on your phone keypad, and you're welcome to join us on this. The other thing I wanted to just mention is recently our office sent out a senior update with information, helpful phone numbers for seniors, and contact information to help you better navigate state government. And so if there's anyone who would like that sent to them who did not receive it, please feel free to contact me at 517-373-7946, and we'd be happy to send out one of those senior updates to you as well. Well, just to quickly summarize, this is something that we're doing to reach out to seniors throughout the 36th Senate District. We want to make it interactive so individuals have the opportunity to ask questions of me as your state senator, or Carrie Cederberg, who works with the governor in the office of, who is the director of the Offices of Services to the Aging in Michigan, and she works with many of the partnerships around the state, the area agencies on aging, and very knowledgeable on these issues. And she is our guest today. We've been summarizing legislation that's been important for seniors. Obviously, the funding to help with some of these programs, legislation that protects our seniors from elder abuse. Also, as you mentioned, that there's a lot of entrepreneurial activity where seniors are starting businesses and helping grow jobs in this state. And that's one of the things that I'm excited about, is our state is seeing economic growth. We're seeing people moving here and staying here, and for many years we had people leaving our state. And so that's been a real positive new development, and our seniors have been a big part of that. So with that, again, feel free to press 0 if you have any questions or comments you'd like to make. One of the issues I'd also like to bring up, because as our seniors in Michigan age, one of the questions is, how do I have that continuing care and stay here in my community? And one of the areas that's been very innovative, and there's been a lot of investment in Michigan, is for continuing care retirement communities. And what those are communities where people can live with either independent living or assisted living, skilled nursing care, kind of the whole range of aging in place and being able to be part of a community. The act which governed the safety and well-being of these communities and the contracts had not been updated since the early 1970s. And so when you consider the changes in technology and options available, we wanted to make sure we update this to benefit our seniors for more disclosure, definitely better opportunities for common spaces and those kinds of things. And so in the Senate recently, we passed legislation to modernize this act. And it passed in a bipartisan way unanimously, and so that shows that both Republicans, Democrats, people want to do what we can to support our seniors. And so we updated the language and, different consumer protections. We added more flexible definitions to allow residents to access all of the amenities in a continuing care retirement community. And so we're hoping that will be then taken up most likely in November or December in the House of Representatives, and I believe the governor is very supportive as well. So this is something that, again, that helps to make Michigan a attractive place for people who want to invest and build these new community structures that really help our seniors. It also makes Michigan more attractive for our seniors to stay and live and be part of our state. So are there, at this point, again, press 0 if there are any questions or comments. I certainly appreciate Carrie Cederberg, who is the Director of the Office of Aging Services for the Governor, who is also joining us on the line. Carrie, tell us a little bit about your job and how you work with seniors throughout our state.
Sure, absolutely. Again, thank you for having me on the call this afternoon. So the Office of Services to the Aging is the state office that is charged with being advocates for older adults. So we are set up, each state has a state office on aging, and we are governed by both what's called the Older Americans Act and the Older Michiganians Act. And we are really charged, as I said, to be advocates and to be looking at how do we support and foster independence and choice for our older adults in Michigan, but then also collectively around the country. So we are the non-Medicaid arm of what we call home and community-based services. They're services that help support people in their homes. So we spoke earlier about Meals on Wheels. That's the largest program that we fund and monitor. But we work closely with our friends in Medicaid because they also fund a number of critically important home-based services for individuals that are on Medicaid and Medicare. So again, we look at how do we best support people in giving people choice to remain independent as long as possible. So we are always looking for opportunities, people to partner with, organizations to partner with, to help make Michigan not just a great place to grow up, but also a great place to age and to grow older.
One of the questions we've had is regarding transportation for seniors, and especially when it comes to northern Michigan, that's something that want to make sure that there are transportation venues available and accessible for our seniors. How do you typically work with transportation organizations?
Yeah, that's a great question and a question we hear quite often. Transportation is really one of a critically important area and also one that is very challenging and very regionally based. So in the governor's special message on aging, which I mentioned earlier, he did talk about transportation, and he talked about the need to really have cross-county, regionalized transportation for everybody, not just older adults. So that's something that we're working on. Again, we know it's an issue and hard sometimes to figure out how to get rides to different places. I do advise a number of the area agencies on aging, which there are 16 of them around the state. They do also help coordinate transportation services, non-emergency transportation services. So that would be another area to go to speak with your local area agency on aging on what the options may be in your community. But just know we do understand it is challenging, and it is something that the governor does want us to tackle in a more statewide comprehensive way.
Another question we're receiving has to do with energy and what are we doing in Michigan to promote energy. Of course, Michigan has a great opportunity in energy exploration and certainly is helping our state. Many of the revenues that are coming into our Natural Resources Trust Fund are because of the oil and gas leases and the revenues coming from that. Also is a big area for jobs. Is there any resource that would be available for seniors that have concerns about either energy costs or availability? One of the I know there was a shortage of propane in last winter, and I think the governor acted to make sure that was addressed quickly. But those are good questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the local area agency on aging, they have worked with a number of individuals that either have problems. Again, you mentioned the propane. Problems paying bills, those types of things. So the local area agency on aging would be a great first step. If they don't provide the service or assistance directly, they would know at the local level who best to contact. And so I can most certainly share that phone number if that would be helpful to share the local. It's part of the Northeast Michigan Community Service Agency. They house the local area agency on aging, and that toll-free number is 866-484-7077. And again, we can share that and get that. I'll repeat it just in case people didn't hear it. It's the toll-free number is 866-484-7077.
And if there are additional questions, the Public Service Commission also deals with utilities, and the 800 number for the Public Service Commission is 1-800-292-9555. And again, this is John Molinar. I serve as your state senator, and we're here talking with Carrie Cederberg from the Offices of Services to the Aging in Michigan, and who works closely with area agencies on aging throughout the state and advocates for seniors with the legislature and as a real bridge builder with the legislature and the governor to make sure we're advocating for our seniors. Carrie, I also mentioned we send out a newsletter for seniors, and would be happy to provide that to whoever did not receive that through our office at 517-373-7946. It has information for veterans and military members, as well as different information about vaccinations. There's also some information on a dashboard for seniors. Tell us about what the dashboard is, what that means.
Absolutely. So as I had mentioned earlier, the governor came out with a special message on aging in June, and part of his special message included a dashboard to look at how we are really doing as a state in a number of different areas. So on that dashboard, you'll find different things looking at kind of health and wellness related metrics, like the number of older adults with diabetes or that are overweight or obese. There are also different metrics looking at talent, so the number of older adults that volunteer in our state, the number of older adults that are starting businesses, things like that. So it's a good way to look at, and it's not all inclusive, or it could be 65 pages long. But it's a good start to really look at how, as a state, are we doing to really make ourselves more age friendly and a better place to live. As I said, to both grow up and to grow older.
We'd like to, at this point, just remind you, if you'd like to make a comment or have a question, please press 0 on your phone keypad. And we do have a Kathleen who would like to make a comment. Kathleen, are you there?
Yes, I am, Senator. Thank you so much for hosting this telephone conversation. It's very informative, and as I mentioned to the person who answered the call, I just wanted to express my gratitude for these issues that you're bringing up and for Carrie's presentation as well. A couple of years ago, my mother moved in with us, my husband and me, and she's in her 80s, and my husband and I attended an elder care abuse prevention seminar in Lachine. We live in Presque Isle, and it was probably one of the most informative classes that I had been to and most helpful. So I can recognize the importance of that. And secondly, your topic about the housing for seniors is so important. In Presque Isle, we have nothing available for seniors. And just in the past month, I think 3 couples have moved out of state to be with their children because there's nothing here for them. They can't be on their own. So it was a discussion that I had with several other women up here that we definitely need housing availability for our senior community so that we don't have to leave the area.
Yeah, and thank you for that. This is Carrie. Thank you. Absolutely, I think housing is a critically important issue, and as we talk about wanting older adults to remain independent and have choices and stay at home, housing options have to be available. There is a work group, aging-specific housing work group that's looking at how do we promote different types of development, affordable assisted living, other types of independent living, and just having high-quality housing stock available that's easily accessible, that has ramps or grab bars and things like that, or home modifications.
Right.
That's area we're looking at. So thank you for bringing that up. That is a really critically important thing and something that we need to continue on throughout the state, but particularly in more rural areas.
Good. Well, thank you. I commend both of you for hosting this today.
Thank you for calling in and for your asking that question. And I also just wanted to bring up, in the area of flu shots, Carrie, that we're getting to that time of year. I know vaccinations are important for preventable diseases, and health officials recommend an annual shot for the seasonal flu for people over 50 and 1 dose of the pneumonia vaccine for those 65 and older. Do you have thoughts on how to make those available for seniors, or what's the best course of action? Obviously, to talk to your doctor and others, but...
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking with your, if you do have a doctor, a primary care doctor, that's great. Also, urgent cares in local areas do provide flu shots. The local pharmacies, Walgreens, CVS, also local public health departments will provide flu shots. So there are a number of different opportunities. And if you call, again, the local area agency on aging, they could also help you identify maybe the closest location. And that number, again, is it's toll-free. It's 866-484-7077. And they can help direct you if there, is a location that's closest. But it is very important. I'm getting my flu shot next week, and it's very important, for anybody of any age, but particularly older adults that may be a little bit more vulnerable.
Question about adults with disabilities, Elizabeth.
Okay, and then now we have Elizabeth on the line, who has a question about adults with disabilities. Elizabeth, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, welcome. Appreciate you joining us in the Teletown Hall.
Thank you so much. My question, I don't know if you guys are even discussing it at this meeting, but was about children with disabilities and also adults with disabilities. Are you there?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Anyway, my question was if there were any ideas or anything, any new propositions on how to get the care that, the children or the adults need when they are terminally disabled or permanently disabled, and especially in rural areas where I live, there is not very many programs, and what there were, many of them had been, cut or taken away. So I guess my biggest question was, what could, do we have any ideas on how to come up with, or is there an organization that helps with resources for people who are dealing with this situation?
Yeah, absolutely. This is Carrie. So there's a couple of things. I don't know. Have you had the opportunity to speak with someone at your local Center for Independent Living or Disability Network?
No, I had a daughter die of a terminal illness, and so she was terminally ill, but she only lived till 10, but we didn't know how long she was going to live. So, that's, I guess the issue is, I know that when you're 18, there's a lot more opportunities, and there's a lot more things that are available to you, and there's a lot less when the children are under 18. There's a lot less available to the families.
So one thing that we are working on that's really should hopefully assist people of all ages is something called the Aging and Disability Resource Collaborative. And what this is to work with the local nonprofits in local, kind of regional, local communities, so that individuals know the different resources that are available in those communities. So if you called, let's say, your Center for Independent Living, and they maybe couldn't, although they do assist people of all ages, but let's say, for example, for whatever reason they couldn't assist you, they would know the other opportunities that are available in the community. But you're right. I mean, this is an area that there's more work that needs to be done, and I think through these Aging and Disability Resource Collaborations, I think that begins the conversation. If you'd like, I can share with you the Center for Independent Living of Mid-Michigan. I do have their phone number. If you would like that, just for future reference, or maybe other callers on the phone that may have had similar experiences.
Yes.
Okay, great. The 1-800 number is 1-800 782-4160. Again, that's 1-800-782-4160.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your question and for joining us today. Very much appreciated. We also have an additional question. Jody from Midland has a question about senior living facilities. Jody, are you there?
Oh, hi.
Hi, Jody.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for the call. I really appreciate this subject, and it was nice to get the notification. So, my mom and I are here together, and we've been looking for places for her, and there really doesn't seem to be any good information out there. And I'm wondering if there's agencies that rate and look at assisted living facilities, and also what's the difference between a licensed and an unlicensed one?
Okay, well, this is John Molinar, and again, we have Carrie Searberg here, and Carrie will respond to your question.
Yeah, absolutely. So we get this question quite a bit, Jody, so thank you for asking it. In Michigan, there is what's kind of an umbrella marketing term called assisted living. So in Michigan, just because you see a sign that says assisted living, that does not mean that they are necessarily licensed or there's any oversight by the state. So I could actually go and put a sign outside of my house that said Carrie's Assisted Living. And I wouldn't advise that you live there because I'm a horrible cook and I don't clean, right? But so other states it's a little different. But so in Michigan, we like to tell people, you might want to do a little bit of research before just signing up for an assisted living. There are what are called homes for the aged, which are assisted livings, but they are licensed through the state. And so we'll track down that information, and perhaps after the call we can send you some links and some phone numbers there, as I don't have them in front of me. But they do show who is licensed homes for the aged, and kind of what their track record has been. There are also what's called adult foster care homes, which are very similar for homes for the aged, but homes for the aged are 55 and older, whereas adult foster care are 18 and older. So that's basically the difference there. But they are also licensed by the state, and so we do keep records on them. There's also the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which is a federal organization. They do quite a bit of monitoring of other facility or nursing home type organizations. So they have quite a robust listing of any type of citations. We also keep state-specific citations on a list here, which we can provide to you, that gives you an idea of different types of nursing homes. So depending on, what you're looking for, there are places that are licensed. It just, it is smart that you do your research. So if we can get your contact information after, we can provide you with the rest of those.
I think the best way to do that would be, please feel free to call me after the phone discussion today at 517-373-7946. And we are pretty much out of time, but I just wanted to say again how much I appreciate everyone joining us. And you may have received in the mail some information on news and issues for our seniors. If you did not, again, feel free to call us at 517-373-7946, because we do have helpful information on phone numbers and contact information to help you better navigate state government. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Carrie Cederberg from the Office of Services to the Aging joining us today. And I want to say also that my office is always here to serve you. If you have any questions or anything we can do for you in state government, feel free to call us at, again, 517-373-7946, or our website is senatorjohnmolinar.com. Our email address is senjmolinar@senate.michigan.gov. And again, thank you for joining us today. Please feel free to contact us with any additional questions. Again, thank you, Carrie, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And have a great day.
Thank you.